Hello, today is Thursday, it's March 21st, and today's thumbnail is interest rate freeze. And what about Bitcoin? So in South Korea, we had a interest rate announcing, which was freezing in early morning today. So everyone expected this, and what acted as a good news is they might drop the interest rate maximum up to 3 times this year. So as market cheering for that, crypto and stock market both made an increase. So now let's begin. This was a support line guide which I gave you yesterday and yesterday. So this is a Bitcoin chart per day in Binance Futures. And I told you various support lines, and I said it may reach here, which is a March 6th lowest point. And you can see that the Bitcoin went all the way down to about a half of March 5th and March 6th. So it stopped from there, and now it started to rebound all the way up to 68K. So this is a dominance chart in morning, and as you can see here, the Bitcoin is also playing somewhere in upwards here. It's 53.86%, and Ethereum also recovered its dominance, and altcoins got also increased. And the Tether dominance, you can see the yesterday Tether dominance, it dropped all the way down. So which means that many investors who changed their assets to Tether in, when is it? It's March 19th. They now came back to the market and trying to invest in the cryptos. So this is a Goya Dominance 1 chart, and now it's 28 points in 12 p.m. in South Korea, and it increased almost 70 points from yesterday's minus Goya Dominance 1 point. So in yesterday's briefing, I told you the point is somewhere minus 44 or something. So the overall cryptos made a average about 3%. That's very one way to easily, how do I say, understand the Goya Dominance 1 chart. So if the Goya Dominance keep increase, we might expect a more rebound. And now this is a liquidation heat map for last 24 hours. And as you can see here, the Bitcoin, since Bitcoin rebounded, it liquidated a lot of short positions, and Ethereum liquidated long positions according to this heat map. So Doji and Solana, all cryptos that had rebounded, now liquidated short positions, and others are green. But this heat map's trap is, if you look at this number, 24-hour rect, the long position liquidation is 200 million and short position liquidation is 202 million. So which means that it's nearly just same. So a little more long position were liquidated to in Ethereum, and a little more short positions were liquidated in Bitcoin. It's something like that. So maybe just go in and looking at the color is not a good idea. So always check the actual liquidation number. That's very important. And this is a 4 hours liquidation heat map. And I told you have to always watch the exact number. And now the short position is 27 million, and the long position is almost 9 million, 28 million. So 28, 9. It's about 3 times more. So in this case, the short positions really liquidated a lot more than long positions. So you have to always watch the number. So the overall market in 10:30 a.m. in South Korea seems to make a rebound right now. But I think end of the March, until end of March, the market will have a high volatile. So I suggest futures traders to always focus when you are trading. And so yesterday, maybe it's not yesterday in United States or anywhere else, but in South Korea, it was today very early morning. It's 3 a.m. So we had an interest rate release, and as everyone expected, the interest rate froze. And Powell also mentioned a possibility for decrease in interest rate in this year. So it gave a market some kind of relief and a little happiness too. So he will make a speech later in 10 not when is it? In tomorrow 10 p.m. in South Korea. So that event is an important event too, and we have a U.S. initial jobless claims. So this means that people who don't have a job, so jobless, increased if the claims increase. So more jobless people were made, and they are trying to get the claims. So this is another important economic indicators, financial indicators that we can know how the market will go. And after the Powell's speech, analyzers that expects interest rate down starting from June came out a lot. So there are still 9 months left. So they say it might go down maximum 3 times, so interest rates. But I think if they decrease a lot, it will be twice, I think, not more than that. So the invest area is really closely connected to the interest rates. So this issue is always important, and it happens every 2 months. So you guys always need to pay attention for when there's an interest rate release. And now this is a news for Ethereum, and Ethereum also increased with Bitcoin about 10% today and getting a slight correction right now. So Ethereum's spot ETF's approval date is, the final deadline is May 23rd. 23, yeah. Recently, the SEC decided to review Ethereum ETF by classifying it as a security, so which made a further possibility to deny it. That's what analyzers and most of them think. But I think when they actually deny the approval for the Ethereum's spot ETF, I think the asset managers won't just sit there and watch for the deny. So, for example, BlackRock and Ethereum just never had a problem related with securities such as Ripple. Ripple is now in a lawsuit. So I think there are no problems with approval, actually. So Bitcoin also had many fails. So if you think just simply, Ethereum could be approved after numerous tries. So if Ethereum gets approved for spot ETFs, I think Ethereum will also make a big jump just like on Bitcoin, maybe all the way up to record high. Now this is a liquidation heat map for Bitcoin today. And my personal expectation was a rebound about to 65k yesterday, but it made much more rebound than that, so it even reached all the way up to 68k. I think the next resistance line would be near here, so all the way up in 70k, and I think falling of the price is inevitable for this rebound. So by looking at various charts, I think there are no fuels for market to return to a bull market, which lasted for 1.5 months. So fuels can be some kind of good news or anything, but we don't actually really have it right now. So if Powell makes some kind of dovish words in the speech, a slight increase could be made from that, but institutions or individuals, investors, will probably choose to sell by various, some kind of, how do I say, it's mentally, yeah, scared. So I assume that this rebound will soon end and start a slight more correction, I think. And Ethereum liquidation heat map also seems very similar to the Bitcoin, isn't it? It just followed the Bitcoin, but the, how do I say, the area is slightly wider. But so eventually the Ethereum also rebounded all the way up to 3.55k, and I think reaching all at 3.6k is not that difficult, but more than that is, I'm not pretty sure about that. So it seems like it will turn to correction again. So this is a very personal opinion, so don't just believe what I said, and don't just come to me and say you said the correction would come. So don't say like that. Don't blame me for the misinvesting. So do your own research, which is a best phrase ever in the world. And the RSI heat map increased a lot comparing to yesterday. So who bought it when cryptos were under these lines, I think those people would have made a lot of profits, I think. So always buy in installments and look many briefings in order to have a safe and successful trading. And now it seems like cryptos gathered in the middle. So this middle part is very difficult to expect from RSI. So I don't know actually where to go if they are in middle. So they can both rise or fall. So I hope you guys to always keep in mind of possibility of correction until weekend, and remind that while trading. So now let's move on to the Goya Premium chart from now. So starting with Bitcoin, before starting, let's refresh the chart again. So as I told you, the dominance starting to come down a little bit. So now it's 17.4. It's 4:30 p.m. in South Korea. Now you can see here what the score chart was leading the market price. So they were moving above the market price, but after this rebound, it eventually met. So the score chart and the market price chart seems to like, how do I say, just fusion. It's gathered together. So maybe after this rebound, the score chart's movement would be very important, I think. So now let's have a look at here. So 3 a.m. this place, which was a interest rate release. So since he just mentioned some kind of possibility of a interest rate cut in future, the market just turned into a rising market. So it recovered this long downward trend. Now it broke through the Goya line with LB and L2. It just went all the way up to here, also with a rocket signal. This rocket signal happens only to the Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin made a sudden big rise, then this rocket with an upward arrow just comes into the chart. So it made a big rebound right here, but after can you see this point here? It seems like it's near 68k. So Bitcoin tried to break through this 68k a lot, but you can see this tails coming out from here. So it eventually all failed. Now they are just moving under 68k. So with an S signal and SB signal made a big drop again, but this long candlestick always have a possibility to recover all the way to the half of the price. half of the candle. So now it's still moving over the Goya line, above the Goya line, but if it reaches up to 68K and fails again to break through, then it will probably make a rebound. I think it will get probably all the way to the Goya line, I think. So then the Goya line's resist or support comes to an important place. Now, if you look at the Heikin Ash, so with an S signal, had an 3 big downward candlestick, but now it's changed into a long position once, so without the tail from the bottom. So this usually means a high upward trend in Heikin Ash, but the candle size is relatively small, so we cannot expect a big rebound from right now. So there's not much information to find that out. So now it's moving near 67.3K, so moving around here. So if there's an additional S signal, if it comes out from here, it will possibly drop all the way to the Goya line, I think. So keep that in mind. And the trading volume just decreased. You can see that here. The trading volume itself just decreased a lot. So it seems like the market will probably move in sideways for a while. Now we're gonna have a look at Ethereum. So it's just same as Bitcoin. With correction coming, the score chart and the market price chart met and moving together right now. So this place, when Bitcoin made a big increase here, Ethereum followed Bitcoin and breaking through this long downward trend, and now started to move in upwards. But just same with Bitcoin, with an SB signal somewhere here, tried to make it go down. So you can see that this long tail reached here, but the overall power is not that strong compared to Bitcoin. So the rising range is also smaller, and decreasing range is also smaller. So it is following the Bitcoin's direction right now. So I think you should consider Ethereum as a coupling to the Bitcoin, so it will possibly move just like Bitcoin for a while. Now it's suffering somewhere here. Now let's have a look at Ripple. Ripple has a score chart above the market price, but I think Ripple just cannot catch up this. So you can see here, even Bitcoin increased almost like $5,000 suddenly. Ripple just didn't move a lot. It is still suffering near the Goya line, and the slope itself looks like it's not stiff enough. So just similar to the Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we got an SB signal, which means that the change of, explaining the possibility of change in trend. So got a three downward candlestick, tried to break through the Goya line, but it seems like the Goya line actually supported this. Now it's moving somewhere near here, but it's really close to the Goya line. So if some signal comes, it will definitely affect Ripple. Now it's almost near here in the trading view. So this is a real-time one, and our Goya chart is basically a little bit slower than the real-time. So Ripple is having a hard time right now. So maybe this line, Yeah, this line to this line, this buy 1, 2, 3, 4 gather. This place could be a first place for you to buy a little bit, and if the price drops more, these places could be an additional place for you to enter the market. And the resist line is here, which was a highest point when Bitcoin made a big increase. I think Ripple is just not moving at all. But Ripple is definitely a good coin that is very, how do I say, in the future. So think about Ripple always as a long-term investment product. So put that in your long-term portfolio. And Dogecoin is, the score chart is leading the market price really well. So now with an SB signal, it didn't actually drop a lot. So now it's recovering right now, trying back all the way up to this resist line, 0.15388. So if you look at the trading view right now, it is trying to break through this resist line, but if it fails, then it will probably get resisted and drop all the way down to the Goya line. So if you press SR, this place, I think this place is too low. So think of this line and this line would be some kind of support line, since we have a long rising candlestick. So as I tell you every time, long candlestick has a high possibility to drop. I mean, if it's a rising long candlestick, it will probably drop all the way to the half. Yeah, highly. It's almost 70, 80%. Yeah, most of them just drop all the way down to there. So always keep that in mind. The correction didn't really end it right now. So I think until weekend, futures traders would pay extra attention in this volatile market. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys to have a successful trading with our Goya Premium chart today. So have a nice day.